Promises.
Corruption will have no place, and the corrupt will not be appointed into my administration.
Promises.
Corruption and economic collapse have brought the nation low. I am ready to lead Nigeria to its rightful future.
Promises.
The institutions of state dedicated to fighting corruption will be given independence and prosecutorial authority without political interference.
A major straw that broke the People's Democratic Party's 16-year rule in Nigeria was pervasive corruption. And during the President Muhammadu Buhari's election campaign in 2015, he vowed to fight against corruption and insecurity if elected. Since his election in April 2015 and re-election in 2019, the anti-graft war remains one of his topmost priorities.
Fellow Nigerians, we can only stand a chance to win the fight against corruption and position our dear nation for accelerated development when we stand together to contend against it.
However, for many Nigerians, the anti-corruption crusades to fight the menace have little to show for the efforts by the present administration. In fact, Mr. President has been heavily criticized and accused of leading a selective war against corruption. Take for instance the controversial removal of former Chief Justice of Nigeria, Walter Onohen, former Head of Service of the Federation, Winfred Oyoeta, former Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Babasha David Lawal, and many others.
This administration have not really tackled corruption the way we expected it. They were just paying lip services and running after opposition leaders who are actually corrupt, yes. But what about the corruption inside the house, within the party, within the government?
So this year alone, and we are in the third or fourth quarter of the year, we've sent out over 35 Freedom of Information requests to various agencies of government, mostly at the federal level. So how well has that fared? And I can tell you, we have a response rate of less than 2% and mostly in the negative. So can we say government, this administration, is transparent and accountable to the people on that basis? I would think not.
To me, corruption is beyond stealing money. Corruption is beyond not doing what you're supposed to do, but it also includes to what extent have you been able to do what you promise the people.
Without mincing words, while we commend the efforts of the current administration at tackling corruption, it is interesting to note that in this same country, the following names ring a bell. Meanwhile, according to reports and findings by the likes of Amnesty International, the world-renowned Corruption Perception Index, and Transparency International, which ranked Nigeria 146 out of 180 on the 2019 Corruption Perception Index, acclaimed the Nigerian government discredited via the nation's Attorney General and Minister for Justice, Abubakar Malami. In May 2018, the Nigerian Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, announced that 603 Nigerian figures had been convicted on corruption charges since Buhari took over office in 2015. The successful prosecutions were also credited to disgraced former EFCC chairman Ibrahim Magu, who himself eventually suffered the fate of his predecessors, including Nuhu Ribadu, Ibrahim Lamode, and the first female to head the commission as chairman, Farida Waziri. Indeed, the question to ask is, where is the independence for such institutions in Nigeria to thrive and carry out their responsibilities without fear or favor?
How well are they empowered to do this? As we speak, the CCB is yet to have a functional online system of people collecting this information and verifying. Then we have the CCT, which is Code of Conduct Tribunal, that is meant to try any public officer found wanting under the asset declaration mechanisms. And we have just one that caters for the Federation. And how many trials have we seen from this from the CCT?
But we need, in all essence, to have these institutions to be properly independent. And I will have wished a situation whereby their independence is constitutionally enshrined, so that it comes directly from the Constitution.
Yes, those institutions will have done better if only they are being allowed to be independent. In terms of who leads that place, how is the leadership? How does the leadership comes up? Who controls them? How about their finances?
In another twist, In May 2021, the federal government said it recovered $700 million looted funds in the last 4 years, even as it received the 4.3 million euros stolen from Delta State's treasury by an ex-governor of the state from the United Kingdom. But where exactly are our so-called recovered looted funds? In August 2021, Nigeria's 36-state government jointly sued the federal government at the Supreme Court over alleged illegal diversion of over 1.8 trillion naira recovered loot. Also allegedly diverted by the federal government, according to the plaintiffs, are 450 billion naira worth of non-cash asset recovered proceeds of crime since 2015, amongst others.
Sarah had written an FOI to the president, asking for details of how much loot has been recovered from 1999, or at least from 2015 till date, and how such funds have been expended. We did not get a response. And these are things naturally that you would think the government should have this information at their fingertips, and the matter ended up in court.
I must also remind Nigerians, home and in the diaspora, that President Buhari's anti-corruption fight rests on a tripod of implementation of Treasury Single Account, Biometric Verification Number BVN, and the famous whistleblower policy, which never got to see the light of day.
And so, with less than 2 years to the end of President Muhammadu Buhari's tenure and administration, the question to ask is if Mr. President can turn around the negative impression about his anti-corruption crusade, especially now that the president says he does not want to leave office as a failure. The clock is absolutely ticking. From Lagos, Nigeria, I am Kelly Egega reporting for Galaxy Television.